Hello, my name is Robbie. I go with the pronouns he, him, and we are here on a Tuesday evening to play the first session of a game called Lacuna by Jared Sorensen. And I have two players with me tonight. We are all kind of rookies with this game, so we're going to be kind of learning together how to play it, which I think is what the game is supposed to be about. We've been talking a little bit about the game, and it's kind of intentionally left open-ended in many respects to kind of require the players and the GM to be creative in terms of how they flesh out the game. And I'm going to have the players introduce themselves, and then we're going to start creating our characters. So, Adam, why don't we start with you?
All right. Hi, I'm Adam. I guess you can use he, him, but I really don't care. Whatever's amusing or good for you. I have been role-playing since I was like, 14, on and off. I tend to roleplay science fiction games or Dungeons and Dragons that I have attempted to hack into a science fiction game. Yeah, I've never been on the Gauntlet before. So I am excited to be in whatever this is. Seems good. Seems like reasonable people.
Okay. And Alejandro?
I am Alejandro, he, him. I've been wanting to play this game for 30 odd years now, despite it coming out about 12 years ago. And I'm excited to get started. That's it.
Okay. And we have a character keeper that we have online, and I'm just going to go directly to the character creation section of the rules. And the first thing is for us to have pseudonyms. And so I need each of you to roll percentile dice and let me know what your number is. And this will give us the pseudonym for your agent.
Percentile dice. Which one is
Just two tens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I did 15.
All right. So Alejandro, you are Agent Chandler.
You can just roll my.
It's on the other side of things. All right. Fiddling with the technology for a bit.
So let's clear this. Just next to.
It's to the left, right?
Yeah, it's to the left. So just put a 2 next to the D10.
2 next to it, and then just hit submit.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. 5-7.
Okay, so 57 gives you Agent Page.
Agent Page.
In terms of security clearance, we're going to actually start security clearance. I wonder if it allows us to do this. Do you have green in there? Yes. We're going to start at security clearance green.
So if did I need to have copied the character sheet or
No, you just write directly into it.
because it seems that I have your name in it, or
Yeah, so do the next column.
oh, I see. It's all in columns. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Figuring it out.
Okay, and each agent, then we're going to talk about your attributes. And each agent is rated in 3 attributes: force, instinct, and access. All agents are expected to possess basic levels of ability in these areas to even be considered as viable employees or agents. And then within each attribute, there are 3 talents, and each of your agents has shown aptitude in one of these areas. Okay, so the way, let me explain briefly what force, instinct, and access are, and then you're going to be able to kind of choose within certain parameters where you set the scores that you give those. Force involves acts of physical strength or of physical dexterity in the blue city. So if you had a high level of force and you were in the blue city, and you're the kind of person who, like, if we needed a door broken down and you had the highest force in the group, we would probably be turning to you to try to do that. Okay. Instinct has to do with your perception in the blue city. Okay. So instinct defines how the agent perceives blue city. It covers perception, reaction, and intuition, and is used primarily when the agent relies on his judgment and experience to gauge a situation. Okay. And then finally, access. Access defines the agent's ability to requisition material and information from control when they are in the field. So when your character goes into Blue City, you will have ways of contacting control, and you may at certain points want to see if control can give you some information, maybe give you the location of something, or there may be some item that you really, really could use, and you want to see if you can requisition it from control. If you had a higher access score, you would have a better chance of doing something like that. Okay. And you have a total of 9 points to allot and distribute between force, instinct, and access. And none of those scores can go above a 4 or less than a 2. Okay, so you could set them all at 3 if you wanted to, or you could set one of them at 4, one of them at 3, and one of them at 2.
Real quick, Adam, next to where mine says Chandler, you need to put your pseudonym. Yeah.
And then the pseudonym was
Page.
Page.
Yeah.
Okay. And then instinct. What was instinct again?
Instinct has to do with perception, intuition, and judgment in the blue city.
Yeah. It sounds like it's physical stats and then like mental stats and then essentially like social connection.
Correct.
The outside world.
Yeah. Instinct would be like awareness, perception, reaction. If you're trying to gauge a situation, or you're trying to kind of scope out a situation and see whether it looks like it's what it's supposed to be, or whether something fishy is happening there, you would be relying on instinct.
All right.
Yeah, access to me strikes me more as the matrix, like uploading a skill or like uploading gun. More like I don't know if you guys see it that way, but that's how I visualize it more.
Yeah, because when you go into Blue City, you just may find the amount of information that you have going into there may be kind of spotty and sketchy, and there may be kind of times when you're wanting to see if you can get a map of something, if you can access what is the layout of this building before we go in there, and you might want to try to get in touch with control and see if they can give you some blueprint or at least some sense of how like the interior of a building is laid out. As I say, there may be objects or items that you think would be useful to have, but you don't initially have them with you, but you might be able to requisition them while you're in the field.
All right.
Okay, and then you can choose a talent, and okay, the explain what talents are. Talents within each attribute, there are 3 talents. Each of your agents has chosen aptitude in one of these areas. So you get to pick one talent. The talent does not have to be a talent within the attribute that has the highest number. It could be, but Agent Page could choose to have, Agent Page right now has 2 force, and Page could choose its one talent to be one of the talents within force. And I can give you a better sense of like what the talents are and what they do for you. Let me go back to. I can find the page here for. Oh, here it is. So, I'm sorry, this is the techniques. Where is my talent? Yeah, so like under force, you can choose aggression, athletics, or strategy. Under instinct, you can choose investigation, communication, or intuition. And under access, you can go with logistics, intelligence, or navigation. And you only get, at the start of the game, you only get one of those. Okay, but you can choose any one that you would like.
All right.
And if you have a question about any of those, let me know, and I will try to give you a more complete.
Sure. Yeah. Do the talents manifest as like bonuses to rolls?
Correct. They would. Yeah. So if you were trying to do something and it played into your particular talent, you would get a bonus to that.
All right. Yeah.
Right. So like investigation, search crime scenes, analyze evidence, and do things like that. So if you were going to be doing something along those lines, yeah, you would end up getting a bonus if that was your talent. Intuition, which is another talent under instinct, would be sensing an ambush or general wrongfulness following hunches. Okay. So Agent Chandler, right now you have navigation, which would mean information about a zone's color and information about ejecting from missions. I think it means more than that. This is just what they give me in the rules. I mean, obviously it just involves having a sense of the layout of things and how to get from point A to point B, or if you have a particular place that you need to get to, having a better sense of how to go about getting there. Okay. All right. Next. All agents are assigned a mentor at the start of your career. For several months, the mentor has assisted you and trained you and taught you about the life of mystery agents. So I, again, for this, need you this time to roll a D20. No, actually, take that back. I need you to roll 2D10 and then add those up and tell me what you get.
Okay. 2D10. It's either, I guess it's 15 or it's 6. Or, yeah.
What did you roll? You rolled
Are they personnel or are they adding them up?
You're adding them up.
Okay.
Yeah. There are 2 purple dice there that add up to 6.
I rolled
And my dice colors do.
Okay, so a total of 6 would give you Special Agent Minor. And this special agent has given you the techniques of endurance and cover.
Endurance and cover.
Yes.
Because I just said that yes.
Yeah, so special agent and special agent minor is actually he trained you, but he is currently missing in action. And Alejandro, what did you get?
I rolled a 9.
A 9. Your mentor was Chief Agent Wagner, and he has the techniques of training and skills that he gave you, and he is currently deceased.
I don't. So you said I got cover? That's my second thing. I got
Yes.
endurance and cover. I don't.
So he gets. Does he get all of cover tree, and I get all of skills tree, and then he gets endurance, and I get training?
Oh yeah, that must be it. So cover. Let me just double check on this.
Or it's just one from the cover.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It probably is just one.
I will double check on what this means.
Perhaps one of the incomplete rules. Probably not a character creation though.
Yeah, because the way this works out, so training. Oh, I see. Yeah, the first one. So the first one is just a standard tree. So you get one from the standard tree, and then you get one from a more specialized tree. So did you all get that?
All right. So take one from the cover then. Are descriptions of these various?
Yeah, I do have descriptions. Let me find.
You can just give me a page number. If you'd like.
Yeah, it's on page 8. So, like training, the agent subtracts 10 beats per minute from his resting heart rate when he uses.
All right.
Okay, with that technique, and the thief. The agent can gain access to restricted areas in Blue City if you have thief, and that requires spending a commendation point for that. And I'll explain commendation points later. But some of these techniques, you can have them, but you may have to acquire a commendation point and then spend it in order to be able to employ the technique.
All right.
And the endurance one, the agent may extend his target heart rate by 5 beats per minute in either direction. And then, what was the other one? Did you take documents?
I've taken documents, yes.
So documents, what is it?
Carry official looking identification.
Yeah, you can carry official looking identification. Okay. So what it says about techniques is experienced mystery agents are able to bend the rules of the game to perform unusual or seemingly impossible actions. This is done using techniques that you pick up from your mentor. And you can also, as the game progresses, you can acquire more techniques. The agent using the techniques can affect change without making a die roll. Most techniques do cost a commendation point to trigger, but some of them don't.
Can you read spy to me?
Spy. The agent can disguise or hide himself or herself from personalities. So
And
it's
that one requires a commendation point, right?
yes, that does require a commendation point.
Yeah. Looks like The assets and the skills require points, and the cover does not. I guess that's the special thing about cover.
Right, and then the standard techniques are kind of a mix. I see a couple of the standard techniques that require them, but the training and the endurance are just going to, I think, automatically when we get into your heart rate are automatically going to have an effect on your heart rate. Okay. Okay, so okay, and then I'm going to need you to roll 2d10, and this is going to give us your age.
Like drop the dice right in the middle.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Also, if you and I try to fiddle with the dice at the same time, like it'll go haywire. So it's one of the people from Shane Liebig, I think his name is, from the Gauntlet. He made this app based on another app, and so it's buggy. So just be generous when you.
Okay.
So I rolled a 38.
And I rolled a 23, I think.
And one thing that a lot of people do is they clear the dice every time.
That makes sense.
Just to kind of clean it up a little bit, because it can get funny.
Okay, so with 2d10, tell me what you get.
I do believe I got a 2 and an 8.
Okay, so that would be 10.
Yeah.
So you are going to be 34 years old.
34.
Okay.
45. I forgot what I rolled, so I rerolled.
What did you get?
45.
Oh no, you're adding them together. I'm sorry, not percentile.
9.
9. So you're going to be 33 years old. Okay.
Oh, so I'm the rookie. I'm the young one in this one. And Paige, he's the old guy, the old hat.
Yeah.
Okay. So your resting heart rate is, for both of you, is 70. But your max and target heart rate are going to be different. So Agent Chandler, what was your age?
Chandler's age was 33, right?
33. So your maximum heart rate is 187 beats per minute. And your target heart range is 95 to 142 beats per minute.
I think his training might change his resting heart rate.
Yes, and that will change his resting heart rate.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you were 34.
Yes.
So your maximum heart rate is 186, and your target rate is 95 through 142.
I didn't write mine down because I thought you were talking to Adam, so I apologize.
Okay. So yeah, yours was 187 max and 95 to 142 as your target.
Okay, my target was what? Sorry.
95 to 142.
All right. So we're almost identical then.
Yeah, you were just
I get to modify, extend my range for my target heart rate then?
Correct, because you had
Endurance.
right. So
Goes up by
you
5. Roughly.
go back to the technique. So yeah, with when you have training, you get to subtract 10 beats per minute from your resting heart rate. And when you have endurance, you can extend your target heart rate by 5 beats per minute in either direction. So you could either take it 5 lower or 5 higher.
All right. And I have to choose that now then.
Yeah.
So okay, so mine goes down by 10.
Your resting heart rate is going to, instead of starting at 70, you're going to start at 60.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and then the way this is going to work is basically anytime you try to do something, you're going to roll dice, and those rolls will get added to your heart rate. Okay, so as you try to use your force, your instinct, your access in Blue City, that's going to continue to increase your heart rate. When you get into your target heart rate, you can do amazing things because it gives you kind of abilities to continue to roll dice to kind of ensure your success. But as you're doing that, your heart rate just keeps on increasing and increasing. And if you get up to your maximum heart rate, then you are putting yourself at risk. Okay. So you'll both start at your resting heart rate, but basically as you are doing special things and exercising your abilities, those heart rates are going to go up.
Neat.
Okay. And I think that does. And so Adam, have you decided with your? I see your target there. So you're taking it. Okay.
Yeah, increase the target.
And I think this looks like we are basically set then. And I can go into a debriefing, or not a briefing, not a debriefing. I'm going to suggest, why don't we take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and I'll get us started on our first mission into Blue City.
All right.
Okay. See you back in 5 minutes.
How long have you been playing RPGs, Robbie? You seem to be muted.
I've been playing since, I first started playing them when I was in middle school, high school, and had a very active group then. And then, like, when I went off to college, graduate school, stopped playing RPGs. And, it's been, I would say, fairly, I've kind of read them, but in terms of playing them, it's only been, I'm a high school teacher, and I do have a games group that started up. So when I started teaching high school, I started playing, really it was strategy games, including diplomacy. For the past few years, we've also kind of really gotten into role-playing games at the school. So, I'm happily, kind of really back into the hobby, and, play a lot with high school students at the school, and then also on the Gauntlet. So,
Cool.
all right. So, I'm now going to slip into the role of control. I will be the person in charge of giving you instructions for your mission, as well as additional rules as to how things will proceed. Shortly, you will be entering Blue City, and Blue City will probably strike you as a city that looks like a real city, although we hear back reports that strange occurrences sometimes happen in Blue City that give it a certain unreal aspect to it. You will notice in Blue City, it will be populated. The personalities that you meet in Blue City will act like normal people. It's going to seem like a city where people largely are spending their time working, shuttling their families around, and doing the types of things that you would expect people to be doing in a normal city. I should warn you that there are sometimes dangerous people that you will find in Blue City. And if you run into somebody who appears to be dangerous in some respect, I would take note of it. I would contact control and alert them to this fact. I would remind you that you are at green level clearance right now, and you will need to get blue level clearance before you would be permitted to engage with some type of hostile personality in the city. So as I say, if you run into somebody who seems to be unusually violent or dangerous in some respect, please note and observe what is occurring, but do not engage that person. There are also reports that there is a mysterious girl who sometimes appears in Blue City. The descriptions that we have is that she has brown hair. She typically wears her hair in high pigtails, 2 high pigtails on either side of her head. And she has these, people always note that she has these glasses that she wears that are kind of hexagonal looking glasses that she wears. We do not know if she is hostile or not, but we are aware of her presence. And again, I would treat her as though she might be hostile. Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Mm-hmm.
How do you lower your heart rate?
The only way you can lower your heart rate is through meditation. Okay. So I will give you instructions. Well, let me go on and give you the instructions as to how to communicate with control, and also how to get yourself ejected from the city. If you need to be ejected from the city, you should find a transformer box and open the box. You will find a mandala button. You would be looking for something that would look like this in the box, it will be a button. And if you press that button, it will eject you from the city. What's going to happen to get into the city is that you will fall asleep and your body will be monitored on a slab, but your consciousness will go into the city so that you can walk around. It will seem as though you're walking around the city and able to perform actions in there. Okay. If you need to contact control, we are going to give you each $100 cash, or the equivalent of $100 cash in Blue City. You will, when you wake up there, you will find that you have that. You will also have what looks to be like a credit card with you as well. If you need to contact control directly, you should find your way to a gas station that has at the gas pump a video monitor, and you should put the card into the credit card portion of the pump, and you will find that the screen will turn into the face of control, and you will be able to communicate with me. Okay. Gas stations are numerous throughout Blue City, as are these transformer boxes. So in terms of getting in touch with me, in terms of getting yourself ejected from the city, there will be ample opportunities for you to do that. So what else do I need to go over? Okay. In terms of how to accomplish actions in the city, you will be rolling 6-sided dice equivalent to the number of the attribute that you are using. So if you have a force of 4, you would roll 4 6-sided dice. You must roll an 11 or greater in order to succeed in the action. If you have a specialization that applies to your action, you will get an additional bonus dice, okay, for that. If you possess an appropriate piece of equipment, you can add the rating of that item to the total of the dice roll. For example, I don't necessarily think on one of the first missions that you will need a gun, but let us say that you needed a gun. And let's say you needed a particularly powerful gun like a bazooka. If you were able to acquire that weapon and maybe it had a +3 rating because it has a pretty explosive power, you would get to roll 3 dice. Okay. One of the nice things about the equipment.
3 additional dice.
Correct. If it was a +3 rating, that would be a particularly powerful piece of equipment. Okay. And normally, whenever you roll a dice, whatever that total is going to get added to your heart rate. Even if the action fails, that number is going to get added to your heart rate. Okay. You may, if you fail a roll, you can elect to re-roll and push it. And so you could roll them again and see if you roll an 11 or more. But both the original roll that failed plus that new roll are going to get added to your heart rate. Okay. One thing that does not get added to your heart rate would be the if you have special weapons or equipment that are adding to the roll, you don't need to add those numbers. But almost everything else, whenever you're rolling to kind of do something, your heart rate is going to be increasing. Okay. When your heart rate enters the target heart range, you can roll any amount of dice in order to succeed. Okay. But once again, that total is going to be added to your heart rate. But obviously, when you are in your target heart rate, if you need to succeed at something, you can pretty much guarantee that you will succeed at it, right? Because you can roll any number of dice to do it. When you are within your target heart rate and you roll a 6 on any die, you will get a commendation point for that. Okay. And so, keep track when you're in your target heart rate, when you're rolling. If you get 6s, just, make sure that every time you roll a 6, you'll get a commendation point. Okay. And as I say, you have some techniques that you may need to spend a commendation point for. If you retain 10 commendation points at the end of a mission, you will earn a new talent. Okay. So if at the end of the mission you have 10 commendation points, yeah, you would get a new talent. You can also save up the commendation points. Like if you come out of a mission and you have 6 commendation points, and then you go off on a new mission, you don't lose those commendation points, right? That you can kind of put them in the bank. And if you get some additional commendation points that takes your total up to 10, then you would get your new talent. Okay. If you exceed your maximum heart rate, all force or instinct rolls are automatically considered risky actions. And you also lose the ability to roll extra dice for your agent. Okay.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Okay. Let me talk about risky actions. Okay. First of all, if you are trying to do some type of action that I would determine to be risky, like a high-speed chase, or you are in combat, or you are trying to walk across a high tension wire or something like that, that would be considered risky. If you fail the roll during a risky action, you lose 1 point from either force or instinct. And if either force or instinct falls to 0, you must immediately make an emergency access roll in order to eject, or you will die on the slab. Okay. So basically, if you're getting low on force or instinct, you ought to probably be thinking about finding a transformer box and opening it up and pushing that button to get yourself ejected. Okay. And then if you exceed your maximum heart rate, all force or instinct rolls are automatically considered to be risky actions, just because your heart is beating so fast that even if it might be something, barging in on a door would normally not be a risky action, right? It's just like I'm trying to break into the door. But if you're above your maximum heart rate, the logic is that, you're about to, right? You're trying to do something else that's going to elevate your heart rate even more. And so that would automatically be considered a risky action.
Interesting. So the game has like a soft cap to the amount of actions that you can take.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into that.
Okay. So are there any questions about the kind of basic rules, how to contact control? You will be entering with the money. You'll be entering with that card that you can use at any gas station that has a video screen at the pump to contact control. Is there anything else that you feel like you would need? I can tell you about missions, and I'm going to name. Let me get back to my character keeper. Agent Chandler, you will be the lead agent on this initial mission. You have green level clearance, which means that you can go into Blue City, but you are not to engage in any personalities that you meet in there who seem to be unusually dangerous. There are 3 missions that we need to have accomplished. There is a package that we need to have picked up at a candy shop. And we have a contact at the candy shop to give you a package. And we need to have that package discreetly transported to a location and given to another contact. Okay. We also have a mission that would involve, this one is similar, although it does require initially getting access to a map that would then lead you to a pickup that you would need to accomplish. And then finally, we need to have some banks in Blue City bugged. There's some unusual activity that we've been picking up at some bank branches of a particular bank. And we need to be able to monitor some of this activity a little bit better. And so we need to have some bugs put into those banks. So
how many banks?
we have 3 branches scattered throughout the city.
This is Chandler's decision, right?
Yeah, well, you can discuss with Chandler, but he's going to be the lead agent on this initial mission.
Also, are we in character right now, or?
Well, that's a strange thing about this game is that it starts to kind of get into this buggy thing where you're kind of like sliding between. I'm sliding between GM and control, and you're going to probably be sliding between players and characters at this point.
All right.
I think bugging the banks sounds most interesting.
Sounds exactly like you. And I suppose you're the senior agent here, so.
Okay, if you want to go for the banks, I have 15 bugs that I will give you. That would be 5 for each bank. We need to have 1 bug put by the front entrance to monitor the front entrance. We need to have 1 bug put in any rear entrance area. We need to have 1 bug put in the drive-through area of each bank. And then we need to have a couple of bugs put actually inside the bank. We need to have this done discreetly. They obviously would have standard security cameras that you would expect in a normal city bank. So you would want to be aware of that, and to the best of your ability, we want the bugs to stay there, and we don't want the people to know about this. Okay, so as much as possible, we want to have this done on the sly discreetly so that the bugs will stay there and people won't know that they've been planted. Is there anything else that for this mission? Is there anything else you feel like you would need before we send you into Blue City?
Seems simple enough, sir.
I think we're good.
Okay, so you are going to be put onto. They take, control takes you to a room. There are some, simple looking cots set up. You see some other people there with some kind of medical looking equipment that would be monitoring heart rates and things like that. They will lie you down on the cots. They start up an IV drip on you, and you also can see that they're putting, attaching monitors and things of that sort to you to keep your vital signs monitored, and you will be drifting to sleep. As you drift to sleep, control again reminds you that, if you encounter violent personalities in the city, or if you run into this girl with the pigtails and the strange hexagonal glasses, take note of it. Mark where you see those people and try to get in touch with control immediately. Okay. So those are the last words you hear as you drift off. And then the next thing you both find yourself, luckily, waking up next to each other. You're waking up in some woods. and you look around you, and it looks like normal woods. Nice day, little breeze blowing, and you can hear in the distance the sound of what seem to be cars passing down a street. So, Agent Chandler, what do you do?
I stand up, brush off the dirt, and start heading in. Just start walking into town.
Okay.
Do we have an idea of where the banks are?
No, you don't. I should have added this. One other item that you are given things that look like cell phones. The cell phones allow you to communicate with each other. They also have a signal that can be sent from control that control would like to talk to you. Okay. So they emit a little chirping sound when control wants to talk.
For control, they're like pagers.
Yes, they're like pagers. And, you know, as you get up and kind of start walking off, there is a chirping sound that starts coming from both of your cell phones.
I hold up my cell phone and I shake it towards Paige.
Yeah. I think so. How are we on like establishing? Can I just like say stuff about the world? Perhaps is that?
Yeah, within a certain parameters. I mean, I'll let you know if like, oh, that really won't work. But yeah, I would feel free to.
This doesn't work. So yeah, I think as Chandler, you look over at me. So first of all, I'm a woman, sort of like a generic, like olive skin woman, and you notice that I'm not paying attention to the phone really. I'm sitting there fiddling with the pine needles on one of the trees. I just sort of sigh, and maybe you hear this, but the audience definitely hears this. I just go, oh, I miss forests. And I sort of like look up at you, Chandler, and I say, they're calling us already.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, I miss forests. And then I said, are they calling us already? And she like sort
We're
of
we're here to do the job. You can sit here. I'm going to go do the job.
No, let's get it done. I sort of like stand up. I sort of like walk over to you and I said, by your lead.
I head out.
All right. I follow behind.
Okay, and Chandler, are you heading towards the sound of the road? Is that the?
I'm heading towards a gas station, so I'll go towards the road and then look for a gas station.
Okay, so you come out of the forest and there's a sidewalk, and it's you don't seem to be in the heart of a city where there are big like skyscrapers or anything like that, but it's a bustling commercial type street. And when you kind of look around, you can see off to your left a strip mall, and then off to the right you see what seems to be like a restaurant, but there also seems to be a gas station down off to the right, down about a block.
A gas station down to the right, about a block?
Yeah, to the right of you. You have a strip mall to the left, and then on the right, you can see that there seems to be like a restaurant, maybe like a Starbucks place, and there seems to be a gas station down there.
I head over there.
Right, I follow.
Okay, and you know, as you're walking, it does seem like a normal city. I mean, it just, you know, cars look like cars that you would expect, and you know, you're not able to read. You know, the establishments have their signs up, and there's strange kind of characters up there, but you know, aside from that, I mean, it kind of looks pretty normal to you. And you get to the gas station.
But we can't read the signs. Like, we can't read anything in this. Like, I'm looking around.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't read anything.
What does it look like?
I mean, it looks like some type of alphabet, but it's not an alphabet that you understand.
Could I attempt to understand it with my instinct?
I don't think your instinct. There is actually a special talent in this area that would kind of give you or actually, I think it's a technique that would kind of give you that ability. But I don't think this is. I would say your instinct does. I mean, it's pretty easy to see what these establishments are,
Sure.
and they have like logos and things that you would expect, right, to be on these types of establishments. But the actual kind of alphabet that they're using is not something that you pick up on.
Is this like typical? Do we know what typical behavior in Blue City is? And is
You know, Control basically just said it looks a lot like a normal type city, yeah, there is. I'm looking at this now. In the techniques, there is a special skill called Writer, where the agent can understand written material in Blue City. But that was just suggesting to me that normal agents can't understand the written material. Okay.
all right. Yes, I just sort of like look at them as we pass. Don't really make much note of them. Maybe just continue following the boss.
Mm-hmm. And so you get to the you know, in terms of your clothes, you seem to be just wearing normal casual clothes, you know, khakis, polo shirts, sneakers, right?
Sure.
And you get to the gas station. So Agent Chandler, what do you?
Stick the card in and call.
Okay. And you stick the card in, and the screen. There was like some advertisement going on with the screen telling you go inside and buy some coffee and a sandwich, but the screen comes up and there is Control, and Control says, "Hello, Agent Chandler. How are things going?"
We've arrived. We missed the forest, and we're ready to head off.
Okay. And have you made any contact with personalities there?
Not yet.
Okay.
Straight here.
Okay. Have you found any banks in your location? What does your location look like right now?
Looks like the blue girl is behind you with her Hexon glasses.
I don't. What did you say?
Looks like the blue girl is behind you with her hexagonal glasses.
I don't see anything. Agent Chandler, how are you feeling right now? Have you checked your blood pressure right now? Your beats per minute?
I'm good.
Okay.
You didn't see it, Command.
Pardon?
Control. You didn't see it, Control. It was right behind you.
I'm just in my normal control booth area. So I don't know what you, are you feeling okay?
Just wonderful.
Okay. How does Chandler seem to you?
Yeah. I look over at him. Do I notice any particular, just as like a cursory glance, do I notice anything particular about you, Chandler?
No, I'm ready for business.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just sort of like look back and say, with a stick up his ass like usual.
Okay. Do you know, are you close to a bank right now, or can you kind of give me a sense of your location right now? What do you see around you?
There's a Starbucks gas station, obviously. There's a strip mall just down the street a little bit.
Okay. And you came out of a forest.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what I would suggest doing is, I believe if you walk down this road, which is Park Avenue, I believe that you are on right now. If you'll walk down 2 blocks, take a left, and walk 1 more block, you'll be on Lakemont Avenue then, and there should be a branch of the bank there. Okay, I would suggest going there first. Now, the other branches of the banks are going to require some transport, so you will need to kind of figure out what you might want to do for transport. But the first branch, I think, should be in fairly easy walking distance from you right now.
Okay, it's covered.
Okay, so Chandler, what are you gonna just head off down the street?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow him as well.
Okay. So you get, if you follow those directions out, it's not a problem. And you see, you go down 2 blocks, take a left, you go up 1 block, and it seems like control has given you correct information. And there is a little branch of a bank. It's in a small little strip mall. Next to it, there seems to be an aquarium store of some type or pet store of some type. And there's also what seems to be some type of paint store that's located next to it. And it's on like one edge of the strip mall. It's not a particularly big branch, but on the front of it, you can see they have a nice little entranceway there. And if you kind of continue, it has the type of thing where a vehicle could go around the side of the building to the bank, and you see a sign up. You can't see what exactly it says, but there's an arrow kind of directing around the side of the bank.
Well,
we need to put a bug at the front and at the back.
Drive through as well, 2 in the inside.
And then 2 random strategic locations on the inside. Do we see any cameras, surveillance?
I can check for them.
I would say that at least right now on the front, you can see right up above the front door, one of those, up on, it has like an overhang, right? And you can see hanging, under there, one of those kind of globe things that would suggest that there's a camera there. Just like right up above the front door entrance.
Okay. Is there anything, is there an ideal location where we can put them? A bug? Right? Where would be a good,
So, what I would say is that there are, I'm trying to draw a little picture for you. You have kind of double doors for the bank. You have this kind of globe that seems to be see that. And then you do have on either side here are kind of brick columns that are kind of holding up that overhang area. Right. So if it was raining, you would be able to walk up to the front door and have protection from the rain if you're stepping right outside of it, because it has these kind of columns and it has this kind of overhang area along the front of the strip mall.
What do the bugs look like? How are they placed?
They are small, black. They're like, I would almost say like nickel size shape. They do also have an adhesive back to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like microphones, essentially. Or do they have an audio component or a visual component?
Control didn't tell you that. I mean, the control just said to kind of plant them.
So it doesn't look like there's any place there to put this thing. It's going to stand out.
Seems that way. Unless we deal with the camera in some fashion. We could shoot it.
Yeah, but even though I can stick it, we can stick it somewhere. But if what's it called? If we it's still like wherever we place it, it's going to stand out.
Right.
It's not like is there any black on the wall? Like what color are the walls?
The walls are brick, like brickwork, and you have these large glass double doors that would go inside.
There must be a dead zone somewhere. I can take a look for one if you'd like.
A what?
A dead zone, place where the camera can't see anything.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the camera spotting what we're doing. I'm worried about where this thing is going to go, so that there's not like a black dot on a wall, on a white wall. You know what I mean?
Buried in the ground. Perhaps, but under a leaf.
I think the point is to put it somewhere so that it doesn't get spotted or moved. If we put it under a leaf will blow away.
Oh, a leaf attached to a plant then.
Are there any planters there?
I would say that, okay, so you're talking about outside. This is the last establishment on the strip mall on one side of it, right? And there aren't like the side of the bank that goes towards like the aquarium, pet store, etc. That's just all kind of brick sidewalk. But since it's the last one on the side, you get to the end of the building and there would be some kind of landscape shrubbery that would be there.
Is it close to the entrance?
I would say relatively close to the entrance.
Like close enough for the mic to pick it up? Or to pick up the entrance?
It would probably depend on the power of the mic. That information wasn't given to you by control. They just said get it close to they didn't give you specific distances. But it's like you would get to the edge of the bank, and then there's this little like kind of part of the parking lot, kind of alley off to the side that a car could go around the side of the bank. But there would be kind of this little landscape area and grass with some shrubbery growing on it.
Perhaps there's better options inside of the entrance?
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. So I'm going to palm the thing so that the sticky paste is facing up, and I'm like kind of holding it like this. And so when we go in, if we see a spot, I'm going to lean my hand where we're going to put it, and I'm going to fix my shoe. So I'm going to lean on the wall and then lift my shoe up and fix my shoe.
Okay.
But if
provide a distraction.
What's that?
Shall I provide a distraction?
I don't know. I think I mean, I think I can pull it off just doing that. But if you wanted to pull off maybe like a subtle distraction, I don't know, maybe like if there's a security guard, grab the security guard's attention.
Yeah.
That's all I can suggest.
We'll see once we get inside.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you open the door, it's the kind of thing where you open the outside door to get inside. They have a little like foyer area with a second set of doors, and they have a little place for you to buzz so that the people inside would, it says to get door to open, push the buzzer.
Oh, so is it a little thing that sticks out?
What, the button?
Yeah.
Buzzer?
Is it a plush wall, or is it sticking out like in a little box?
Um, yeah, it's. I would say it's not really sticking out far. It's just like on the wall off to the side. It says, you know, uh, to enter, push button, and cashier will open door.
Are there any air vents here?
Yeah, if you look up on the ceiling, you would see an air vent up there.
Okay, so the little button thing, is it sticks out enough so that I can put a mic on it, or is it not that big, like on the other underside of it? Or is it flush to the wall?
Yeah, it's pretty much flush to the wall.
Okay.
And you have this little placard with the instruction of. And I take that back. You probably would not have been able to read that,
Yeah,
but it's a prominent red button there with like yeah. Mm-hmm.
How big is the button? Is it about the size of a nickel?
Yeah.
Okay. So I go push the button.
Okay.
And I put the mic right there.
Okay. And you buzz it, and you can hear a click on that second set of doors.
All right, and we head in.
Okay.
Sure, they'll never notice it.
What's that?
I'm sure they'll never notice it.
I sure as I hope not.
Okay, you enter. It looks like a pretty typical interior of a bank. Right. I mean, there's a sofa in the middle of this large lobby area. On the other side of the sofa, there's a table with like all the slips, like you'd find like deposit slips and withdrawal slips and those types of things with pens that are kind of sitting there for people who kind of need to kind of write out those things. On the left and the right, you see a few offices, and then, straight across from you, there are 3 stations for tellers to be. And somebody is, at one of those stations, and it's a woman in around 40, and she is waving at you, says, hello, can I help you?
Yes. I turn to Paige, and I say, Paige, do you have the money?
I say, oh yes, indeed. And I pull out the $100, and she says,
I take the $100, and when I palm a mic into your hand.
All right.
Is it?
Yeah. I just sort of like look at you and sort of like in frustration says, fine, you deal with the money. So you can't leave that in charge of a woman, can you? I sort of scoff. And I sort of walk away. Walk to the section of the bank.
Yeah, I head over to the woman.
Okay. So you walk up, and it's the typical setup. She's behind what seems to be bulletproof glass. There's on your side a kind of counter, kind of narrow counter that's on your side, and a little place where you can slip things underneath the bulletproof window. And she says, can I help you?
Yeah, I look at the $100 bill. Can I read it?
No, it's kind of like a jumble, and it has like somebody's face on it, but you don't really recognize whose face that is.
All right. So yeah, I lean forward as I put another mic like underneath the counter.
Okay.
And I say, yeah, I'd like to open an account.
Certainly. And what kind of account would you like?
Basic.
Savings account?
Yeah.
Checking account?
Checking.
Checking. Okay. Well, let me, I can get somebody to help you with that. Let me just call up one of our bank officers, and she'll take you into the office, and we'll get you set up.
Okay, great.
Okay, so she kind of leaves the window, goes back to a little phone that she has there, and is calling up somebody on the phone. And says, "Oh, we have a new customer here who wants to call to open up an account."
I think while that's happening, because I'd imagine this is a bank in America. It's probably got some like crappy plastic plant somewhere. It's like a potted plant.
Oh yeah. They're potted plants. They even have like a little stand that has like free coffee with some cookies set out, and you know. Mhm.
Yeah, so I walk up to the plant. I just sit there and just sort of like flick one of the leaves. It's plastic, because of course it is. I
Mhm.
flick one of the leaves and then just go, can't even afford to get a real piece of greenery. Honey, I sort of like look back, and as I do, I'm going to basically try to like put it. So you sort of have like the rim of the potted plant, and there's the soil. I'm going to
Mhm.
try to put it like right there, essentially. Stick it a little bit into the soil. As I sort of do that, I go, honey, we should put our money here. I can't even afford a real plant. How can they afford to deal with our finances?
Okay, and you're going to try to put the bug in there in the plant. Is that okay?
In the potted
Let me go on, and because you've been planting these, and I want to get a. We'll do this as an instinct roll, and just see with respect to your. You're trying to kind of be as nonchalant with this as possible. Let me get you to do an instinct roll for this.
All right. So my instinct is 4. So I'm rolling 46 then. Right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that is a 10.
Okay.
So that
So
would be fail, right?
yes, that would be a fail, and you're going to add 10 to your heart rate. You can decide right now whether you want to push it and re-roll again to see if you can get an 11 or better, or you can stick with the failure.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad roll. I'm pretty likely to succeed. So I will roll it again. Yeah, just the 4, 4, and the 5. I guess I'll just clear it and fucking roll again. All right, there we go. That's 16.
Okay. So you are then now successful. So you add 16 to your heart rate as well. But you have successfully done this, and it doesn't seem like anybody has picked up on this. You at this point hear the door for one of those offices open up, and there's a guy in his seems like he's around maybe late 30s, nicely dressed, and he comes walking over to Agent Chandler and says, yes, hello, I hear you want to open up an account. How can I help you with that? Do you want to step into my office?
Yeah.
Okay. So he'll take you into the office, and he has a nice little desk in there, and you have a couple of chairs, and he will invite you to sit down and start to kind of go through the whole kind of routine of opening you up a bank account. He's at his computer station and typing away and asking you various questions. I mean, he will ask you, do you have any ID?
Do I have ID?
You do not, because my
Right.
special ability document specifies that I have legitimate looking ID.
Mm-hmm.
I say my wallet is gone.
That's unfortunate. Did you lose it?
Well, obviously, it's not in my pocket.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can I? I mean, do you know where you lost it?
No, I had it before I came into the bank. At least I thought I did. I came in with my friend. I'll be back. My apologies. I didn't mean to waste your time.
Oh, no problem. We'll always be here for you at your service. We are a bank that prides itself on our customer service. So we will see you back here, and I hope you find it quickly.
Thank you. I head out.
Okay.
Find page.
All right. Oh, I guess I'll probably just like follow. Are we leaving the bank entirely? Or
Yeah, I hand the money to you, and I go. I lost my wallet, so we need to go find my wallet.
Of course you did. And you left the bar again. Come on.
Let's go.
All right. So we exit the building then.
Mm-hmm.
We head out. We go around, and we're gonna walk past the drive-through as we head out.
So the camera can see us as we do that, right?
Yeah, presumably the one that was under that front door would be able to monitor you.
Right. We came in this way, but we can go around and keep going like in the same kind of. They don't know where we're going.
Correct.
Right now,
Right.
or where we came from. So we can walk past we can walk past the drive-through. So is there any like edges that we can put a chip at the drive-through?
Well, I mean, when you go to the drive-through, they have I would say they have 3 different lanes. There's a lane like right next to the building that's more like the business customers. There's one, right next to that with one of those tube things, right? The kind of pneumatic tube delivery things. And then there's also like what looks like an ATM machine in a 3rd lane. And so they have that kind of setup where you have the ATM machine there. You got the kind of some columns because it's all protected from the weather, right? So they have a kind of big, heavy overhang, but it's supported by some columns there. And then you can see behind the bank, you do see a kind of door by the, kind of a back entrance door that would be back there.
Before we go behind the bank, we're gonna go by and I'm gonna look for like an edge, next to one of the pneumatic tube things, and I'm gonna do that thing that I said where I lean on it and fix my shoe, and as I lean on it and fix my shoe, I'm gonna slap the mic on there.
Okay, and you'll see, you can see in the big window, you can see that woman who was was the teller. You can see her waving at you, smiling and waving at you, when she sees you back there.
Yeah. So I do that. I pull my shoe off and I dump it like there was a little rock in it, and I just slip my shoe back on.
Okay.
I wave back, give her a smile.
Okay.
That Paige would recognize as a mechanical smile, but Paige isn't saying it. And then we
go ahead.
No, I was just saying we head off, but what were you gonna say?
We just have one more bug to plant, right? We've got the back door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have any of the bugs? Or do you have all of them?
You just had that one.
All right.
So there's one left. I mean, if you have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to go find somewhere near the back entrance. So I guess we just go investigate that.
How hidden is the back entrance?
It's not really that hidden. I mean, it looks like a really strong steel door that looks like it would be locked most of the time. Right. But they have, that kind of, I mean, it's very basic looking, right? It's like the only people who would use it would be people who work there, and and it's probably not used by them very much, you would guess.
So there's probably some sort of edge around there that you can do it, right?
Yeah, and there's also a dumpster back in that. It's kind of like a back out, that they don't make this look particularly nice. It's because, like, if you're doing the drive-through, you're just going to go do your transaction and head on, and you can see it's in a strip mall, so you can see like these other steel doors further down that would be there for the other businesses. You do see off to the side a dumpster that these businesses would be using. So
is the dumpster like kind of between the door, like on the wall between the doors kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just go over there and palm it onto the wall, like find like a nice hidden location. And as I lean on the wall, I'm going to urinate behind the dumpster.
Okay.
Stay classy, Chandler.
Gets the job done. And then we have to do this to 3 banks.
Yes.
I head off. We head off, and then I hand the next 5 to you. As like when we're like a block away.
Sure.
I had to hand the next 5 to you, and I go, let maybe you have a better plan for the next one.
Perhaps. Do you have any idea why they want us to bug all of these banks? They didn't seem very important.
I have a feeling that it's more they're testing us than anything else.
Perhaps. Guess we'll find out. Always hard to tell with the agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you seem to be somewhat successful in doing this to the one bank. You haven't no alarms have gone off or anything like that. So where do you want to go now? I mean, you're on this. You seem to be in this. It kind of looks like a suburban commercial area that you are, and it's the middle of the day. Various types of businesses around. And yeah, it's kind of open to you as to where you want to go at this point.
I mean, the people, what were they called again? Command?
Control.
Control, there we go. Control said that we would need to acquire a vehicle to get to the other ones, right?
Yes, the other ones would be other places around town.
All right.
Are there, okay, so I just go to like an old junky car and check it and hotwire it?
Okay, where are you going to do this? Are you doing it like at the same strip mall that has the bank, or?
No. We walked like a block away, and that's when I handed him the next 5, and I'm just like, I'm just like scoping for a good car that's not standing out, like a decent car, not a fancy car, not a total junker, one that isn't red.
Okay.
Because cops like red cars. And I'm just gonna get in it. We're gonna get in it. If like I'll break a back window if it's locked, and I'm just gonna hotwire it. An older car, so it's easier to hotwire. And we'll head out.
Yeah, so with this type of an area, you could find, I mean, establishments that would have large parking lots where you'd have a pretty good selection of cars. You can find that, right? There would be a supermarket or some type of like Target type department store. You would easily find that, and you can find. In a section of it, you'd find a few of these kind of older model kind of cars. They would be locked, but are you gonna try to somewhat discreetly break a window? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I have the thief skill, so I kind of like this is within my roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me. Well, and to use the thief skill, you would normally need to spend a commendation point, which you do not currently have.
That's fine, but because I have that skill, I'm just saying it implies that I know what I'm looking out for.
Correct.
I may not get bonuses from it, but I've got the I know how to be a little bit discreet. I know what kind of car to look for. I mean, I've got some. Unless so I don't. It's a 4 die bonus. You said that I wouldn't get at this point.
Right. So if you're going to go, I mean, there are 2 ways to try to do this. I mean, you can either try to break the window, or you can, if you had found something where you wanted to try to, pick the lock in some way.
Like a Jimmy, what? Like a Jimmy, like a.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are not easy to come by. Access, in order to access, do I have to contact the
control?
Control?
Yes, you would want to access control. Yeah, you would want to contact control and see whether you could persuade control to, or somehow can he get from control, right? Get control to, can he provide you with something?
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a gas station around?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be far to go back to the original one, but if you keep walking down the street, yeah, you can see another gas station there.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Paige, what do you think? I mean,
Have you like told me of like your plan to hijack the car, to steal the car,
um,
or are you leaving me in the dark?
I probably left you in the dark. We probably walked up to a car, and you saw me like looking at it weird, and then I'm like, I think we should go to talk to control about this. Like I was I was like even kind of
Oh yeah.
almost taking the posture, but not quite. It looked kind of funny. And then I looked at you. I'm like, we should talk to control about this first, right?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I'm supposed to keep a low profile, right? Doesn't make sense to run up to a bank in a stolen car, especially if we've shattered one of the windows. Maybe they can give us the keys. That would make things easy.
That's a good point. Or we can maybe just ask for a car.
That too. Under the protocol here, it might be easier to ask for a little piece of metal than a large one.
So we head off for that.
Okay. You get down to the gas station, and they have the gas pumps with the videos in them. You put in your card, and control comes on and says, hello, Agent Chandler, how's it going? You making any progress on getting these banks bugged?
The first bank is completed. It was relatively simple. We need the locations of the other two banks, and we also need a car.
You need a car. What kind of car are you looking for?
Porsche.
Something like that would be pretty difficult to get, and would
Well,
probably
what would you recommend?
Are there any? I mean, certainly there are cars around there that you could get into.
Could you give us the keys to one?
The keys to a car. We might be able to do that. So, will one of you? I'll let one of you roll your access.
I'll roll it since I didn't roll last time.
Yeah.
Do I roll anything else, or is it just the access?
At this point, it would be. I mean, your talent doesn't help you out.
Really, navigation doesn't. Okay, just kidding.
Navigation for driving car.
I rolled a 10.
Okay, so that gets added to your.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay. How many dice do you have to roll in this?
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's even worse. 4. I mean,
Okay.
5.
Okay. So you had the 10 and plus the 5 to your.
Yeah.
Yeah. Control is. I mean, I guess you can keep re-rolling if you want to, or you can. This is not considered a risky action, but if you stop, then you're not going to get the.
I'm gonna re-roll. I'm like, come on. How hard can it get? I rolled a 3.
1 in 216 chance. Ooh.
Wait, I rolled that. I didn't mean to. Okay, so I.
Control says, Agent Chandler, you're a little disappointing here. I mean, certainly, you're in a city. I mean, there are, I would presume, maybe buses. If you could find something like that, or, I wouldn't worry about if you're discreet, you can break the law. I mean, we're not really citizens of Blue City per se, are we? I mean, we can bend things a little bit if you need to.
Can you get me a Jimmy? Just a Jimmy.
Just a Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like a crowbar?
Jimmy is a flat bar with a notch inside of it so that you
Okay.
can use it to get into cars easily.
Um,
I had a hobby when I was young.
okay.
I
A
rolled
Jimmy.
failed it again. On the
Okay.
6.
Yeah, you should keep on adding that to your
Yeah, no, I am.
um
I'm getting closer to target.
what control will say is, okay, look, I'll help you out this time. I'm not going to just give it to you, but there is, from what I'm gathering, your location is, you can walk down a block and take a left into this would be Dunger Street, and it's not going to be as busy there. But if you walk down that way, there's a kind of rundown auto repair place there, and they seem like they're a little hard up for cash, and it might be the kind of place where you could find something like that and perhaps purchase it, or at least something that would suit your purposes.
Okay.
Can't we just walk? Surely the vehicle's unnecessary.
Oh, and you wanted to know the location of the other banks.
Indeed.
Yeah, control will flash up onto the screen a little map, and he will hold it there for you to take a look at. You can kind of get a general sense of the layout of the roads. It's a pretty easy grid formation that the roads take. It does have marked on the map where those other two banks are going to be. And you get a little scale down at the bottom of the map. It looks like the other two locations would probably be about 7 miles distant from where this one is. So one of them off, off to the northeast, and yeah, I mean, they're obviously the banks are all the same. They're all the same bank, right? And they obviously wouldn't be putting their branches right next to each other. They're just putting them in different parts of the area.
Yeah. 7 miles isn't that much. Would that be like a roll to walk to the bank?
No, you could walk there. It would take you a little bit of time, but walking 7 miles, it would be a little bit of a hike.
Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Are we on like a time limit?
Control says, we want these banks monitored, but yeah, there's not like you don't need to do this in the next hour. You can get it done in the next day. That would be fine for us.
All right. I sort of like look over at Chantal and says, well, we can try the auto repair shop, and if that doesn't work, always just walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you're going to try the auto repair place first?
Might as well.
Yeah. So, when you get to this place, it is clearly the type of place that people would go to try to save some money. It has a lot of kind of, beat up, rundown cars kind of scattered around its lot. It has one lift in this small little kind of shed place, right? There's there's a car up on the lift. There's a guy in there working away at it. It's really run by, it seems like one guy, and he has like a helper with him who are kind of in there working on a car.
So social skill would be like instinct, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Talk to people. All right. So I just sort of like look over at Chandler and I go, "Shall I deal with this? I have my money back then. Maybe yours as well. All right, take the money." And then I walk up to this individual
Mm-hmm.
and I say,
Let's go meditate real quick. This is an interesting game. It's
sorry about that.
no, it's fine.
So I will walk up into the individual. We're looking for a car, right?
Yeah.
Or are we looking for a thing to steal a car?
Either one.
All right. So I sort of walk into the individual and sort of smile, give probably a very similarly mechanical smile as
Mm-hmm.
Chandler gave. And I say, excuse me, good sir. I seem to be a bit indisposed at this time. I've needed a vehicle. Perhaps you could help?
Sure. You wanna? We have cars. I mean, if you have money, you need a vehicle to rent or to purchase.
We only need it for a few hours, at the most.
Um, hmm. Um, and he points over to like a car. He says, "Well, for a few hours, we don't really. It's not really a car rental place, but you know." Um, now, did you want to roll instinct on this, or are you going to try to just get by to see if this is convincing for them?
I mean, I guess if you would, yeah, probably. Why not? I'll roll instinct to try and convince this individual to let me rent a car.
Okay.
Seems fine. All right, so I've got 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go ahead and clear this and submit. Oh, all right, that's 9. I guess technically I'm within my target heart rate, but
You are in the target heart rate.
at 105 right now.
Okay.
I think I'll roll again. 11's not very hard to get on such a low BC. All right. Even worse. So that's an 8. I think I'll probably leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah. What this person would say is, okay. We don't usually rent cars, but depending on what kind of collateral you leave with us, we could rent that to you for a few hours for like $30.
Do I have anything that would be good collateral?
If you wanted to put down an extra deposit with it, we could do that.
Yes. Sure. How about $70 deposit, 30 for the day? I can give you 60 for the day.
Okay. So you'll give us, what are we saying? $100 and you return it back by the end of the day, and we get to keep 60 of it.
Yes.
That sounds. He will go for that deal. It really looks like a pretty trashy car. He says doesn't have any AC. You got to be kind of careful when you're taking off. It sometimes takes the transmission a little bit to kind of grab it. But if you just need to do some basic driving around town, it'll get you there.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so you have this is like I don't know. It's like these aren't the normal brands that you have, but this is like some beat up foreign make car.
Oh yeah, like some car made from like the Ukraine in the 70s.
Yeah. Okay.
A three-wheeled Yugo. If you turn them too hard in a direction, they flip over.
All right. So yeah, I come back with, I would assume, the keys to this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I toss them at Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we be off?
And who's driving now?
Chandler.
Chandler. Okay, Chandler, you're
I
driving.
don't force it too.
Yeah.
We make a roll in the car. It's not gonna go well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, even though it's like 7 miles, it doesn't look like the map had pretty easy, looks like, pretty easy directions to follow. So you would pretty easily be able to get to another branch of the bank. So you kind of go off to this other section of town. In some ways, it almost looks like the exact same setup as the other one. I mean, these are like cookie cutter banks, right? I mean, it's on a little strip mall. The stores next to it are a little bit different, but it's kind of looks like the same basic setup.
Yeah. Another franchise. And I sort of like take a look at it and I say, God, can't Control must be wasting our time with this nonsense. Just having us run around to these bloody institutions. Surely we can put these to better use.
Job's a job. I bet you they don't do anything. I bet you they're just little sticky black dots that don't do anything. That's fine.
It won't matter where we put them, will it?
What's that?
Won't matter where we put them, will it? It's not like there's anybody going to be checking to make sure we put them in the right locations.
I think we should just follow through with the duty, and I'm sure they will check on them just to see how we're doing.
Of course you do. No sense of adventure. Very well.
We're in a dream world.
Hell of a dream, isn't it? Oh, I don't spend my whole life dreaming of banks in this god-awful country of yours. I sort of like gesture. She says, well, man of my dreams. Shall you lead or shall I?
Go ahead.
All right, so I walk up. And it's like almost exactly the same.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, it's a very similar strip mall, but the other places would different establishments next to it. But the way this bank is, it's like, okay, this bank just, had an architect come up with one design and they were looking to just basically implement the same design on this bank.
So I walk in into the front entrance. Is Chandler following me? Or
Chandler's following you. Are you going to put the bug on the buzzer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm into this. I'm not going to be creative.
Okay.
It was his idea first. I'm just following orders.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just put it onto the buzzer, press the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the door opens then.
Yes, the door opens.
So I walk in. Are the people the same in the bank?
Surprisingly, at least the woman behind in the teller area does seem to be the same.
All right.
And she waves at you, says, "Hello, can I help you?"
Yeah. As she sort of enters, I sort of like hold my hand back to Chandler to like basically tell him don't come in yet, so he can sort of stay outside.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow that if you'd like. And I sort of like walk up to her and I say, "Yes, I'm sorry. I seem to have lost track of my husband. You know how these things are. Have you seen him around recently?" And I give him like a description of Chandler.
I don't think I've seen him here.
He was trying to set up an account. One of these somewhere around here.
No, no. We get a lot of people in the bank, but it's been a pretty slow day, and nobody by that description's been in here.
Of course. It's probably in one of the others. Thank you for the help, really. I sort of like I think probably at this point I like walk out. I go back to Chandler and I say, strange thing. There seems to be a woman almost identical to the one in the original bank and this one. Does it strike you as odd?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Do we have anything to say about it? Anything we want to do?
Well, did she recognize you?
She didn't seem to recognize me, and she didn't seem to recognize you. Or else she was lying. Not to know for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna have one of you roll an instinct, and it'll be the higher one. So this would be Agent Page. If I could get you to roll an instinct.
Do I get to use my investigation here?
Yeah, I would let you roll with that bonus.
Do I want to, though? Because the more dice I have, the more screwed up my heart rate becomes. Yeah, screw it. I will roll 5 then. All right, it's a lot. It's like 23.
Okay, so you're successful. While you're having this conversation out,
You also rolled 2 6s, so you get 2 commendations.
oh yes, you do get 2 commendations. Yeah, be sure when you're in the target that you keep track of that. So you get that, and while you're having this conversation, you notice that you are being watched. And there is somebody kind of on the other side of the street who is standing outside of his car. And he's parked kind of underneath a tree. There's an establishment on the other side, like a big restaurant, but he's parked kind of under a tree. And he's kind of standing in the shade of the tree. And he does seem to be intently watching you. He's a thin guy. He has close cropped black hair, and he's wearing like black jeans and a black t-shirt, and has some sunglasses on.
All right. So as I like see this over Chandler's shoulder, and he says, "And it appears as if we're being followed." Interesting. With a man attempting to be quite a bit more badass than he actually is.
Sorry, is it an agent?
Would I know that?
Well, do you recognize him, or as an agent?
Yeah.
Or
You don't recognize him.
I don't recognize him. Doesn't have any distinguishing features.
interesting. How long has he been following us? Do you know?
Hard to say. He's got a vehicle, though. Ostensibly, he's interested in what we're doing. You think this is part of the mission?
I mean, I would let either of you, in terms of that question, he does have a the car that he has is like a really nice, shiny black pickup truck. If one of you wanted to roll on instinct to see whether you kind of had sensed that, I would let you do that. You wanted to. But that's up to you as to whether you want to.
I mean, I'm 50 away from dying, so
I'll check. I'll do that. What am I rolling for to see what?
Well, I mean, because you were wondering like how long have you been following? So this would be to kind of like see what you've been able to pick up in terms of that it's not going to really be him, but like while you were traveling over here, noticing that black pickup truck and kind of realizing, oh yeah, maybe we saw that back somewhere else.
Okay. I made it. I got a 14.
Okay. So, you remember, as you were kind of setting out in this kind of jalopy of yours that you are borrowing, you do recall coming up to a stoplight at one point, and that this pickup truck had pulled up behind you. And so it was, I mean, maybe it was right as soon as you left that place, or if not that, it was soon after that this black pickup truck had been kind of going down the street. And so you know that you've been tailed for a number of miles across the city.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm going to tell Paige, go ahead and get started on the bank. I'm going to go have a conversation with our friend.
Of course. All right.
Okay, so we can start this first with maybe we'll start with Paige. Are you just going to go back into the bank, or?
Yeah. So before, I'm probably going to walk or go up to Chandler and be like, "Can I have your money then as well?" I don't remember if you gave it to me before. Your $100.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so I still have your money. So I go,
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll go make up a story or something. And I'm basically just going to because I can't repeat the same actions over again. But I think I will repeat what Chandler did. I'll go up and basically be like, I'd like to make a deposit, and basically run through that whole thing.
Right.
Set up an
Yeah.
account.
Yeah. So when you do that, I mean, it's a similar thing. Now, the guy who comes out of the office is not the same guy, not exactly the same guy. This guy, 40 years old, he looks like a different one, but his routine is basically the same. I mean, it's like they have like this script that they follow. Welcome to the bank. We're glad that you're here, and kind of runs through that. And during this, you're going to just try to plant a couple bugs in there.
Yeah, so I planted the same as Chandler did. I walked up to the counter and then sort of like leaned on the counter, put a button like that. I think it was like under the thing. And I guess I can't repeat the plant thing, but I guess I could like figure out how to place a bug in this guy's office. Maybe I could make use of the complimentary like coffee and cookies thing. Try and place a bug.
Yeah, it's like a small little table, with it has like one of those pod coffee makers on it where you can, just put it in and do that.
Yeah, maybe I'll like try and put it behind the coffee maker, because I imagine this is abutted against a wall. So sort of like reach back and sort of maybe what I'll do is I'll like try and work the coffee machine. I'll sort of get angry. I'll sort of like hit it a couple of times. This blasted thing. So as I'm shaking it, I'll like slip one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess that officer would come over to say, "Oh, I can help. I can help with that. I can help with that." Let me go on, and while you're doing this, let me get you to roll an instinct.
All right. Is it related to investigation or not?
Investigation.
I would just as soon ignore it. I don't want to.
Okay.
That is 14.
Okay. So you seem to be pretty successful in doing this, and the guy takes you back. He's going to ask you for some ID or something like that at some point.
I call it my ID. I have one.
Okay. He'll take it down, get that information. Says, how much do you want to deposit today?
Just $100 to start.
Okay, and so I think this would be a fairly kind of quick transaction then, right? And takes your $100 and kind of prints out, has a printer, and the papers come out for you, and says and has a brochure about the bank and all of that, right? That he would give you.
Yeah, and I think just for the hell of it, probably like to give Chandler time to do something, because I don't know what else going on here. I'm basically just gonna start like asking him questions about like the nature of the bank, just like really banal, specific questions. like, so what's your overdraft policy then?
Okay, yeah. So
basically just waste this guy's time.
Yeah, he gets really excited though. He loves talking about the overdraft policy and stuff like that. He's been like, this is like his moment to shine, right? Kind of going over all the minutia of the bank.
Yeah, I don't want to push myself too hard to like learn stuff, but I just want to see like really cursory whether or not there's something weird goes on, like he starts going through a loop or something. I don't know, but I don't want to roll on it. So
okay, yeah, but he kind of loves to kind of talk about this. It's been a very slow day, so he's more than happy to do this. So Chandler, you're walking across the street. Are you walking right towards him?
Yeah, he's watching us, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so I'm just walking to him.
So when you start walking towards him, he steps away from his truck and starts walking away from you. And you see that he pulls out like the key fob, and you hear chick, chick, right? He's kind of locked the truck, and he's walking away from you. He's parked in a kind of restaurant parking lot, so he's gonna kind of walk into the restaurant.
I'll follow in. I'll go in.
Okay, so you get in there, and he's walking like across the restaurant to the back door, which is where like the waiters and waitresses would come out like into the kitchen area.
I'm following. I'm trying to catch up. I'm not running, but I'm trying to catch up to him.
Okay, when he sees you come through the front door, he's going to start to run. He's going to kind of make a run back to that kitchen area. Okay.
Then I'm going to go back to the truck,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go underneath the truck and disarm the alarm.
Okay.
Engage the alarm, like just do something, and then break into the car.
Okay, and how are you going to break into it? Are you going to just break the window or
smash a window? Yeah.
Okay. Let me get you to roll. I would say, disarming this, you kind of would know how to do that. That's not a super difficult thing. But yeah, breaking the window. You're just gonna find something to bash it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A rock. I'm sure there's like a rock on the.
Yeah, you do kind of quick, or you can find maybe a loose brick somewhere that would.
So I have thief.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling on this to like break into it and to like shuffle through it to find stuff. So
mm-hmm.
Should I incorporate thief?
Yeah, is that a technique?
It's a skill tree. It's under it's one of my it's a technique.
Right, and I think that does. Do you have a commendation point yet?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I think the way this works is you can spend the commendation point to activate the technique.
Okay. I hate games I hate it when games do this. When they combine experience points with like ability points.
Yeah.
So I'm not because I want to go up in level. I want to be able to fight. So I'm not gonna spend my point.
So you're not gonna spend the point?
No.
Okay.
Because I have to get 10 points. So
yeah. Okay, so
I just rolled. That was awesome. Okay, when you're in your target heart rate, what is the when you're in the target heart rate, what is the how is it different? Because you said when you're in your target heart rate, you almost always win.
You can roll any, and this is again where the rule I think needs to be a little bit more clear for me. But it says, so if you fail, you can always re-roll again to push it. But when you're in your target heart rate, you can roll any amount of dice in order to succeed.
So I think that means you just choose. Say, I'm just gonna roll 10.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna roll 10. I rolled a 16.
Okay. So you are able to,
or 17. Sorry.
Okay. So you smash open the window, so you now have access to the interior of the pickup truck.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna. What's this inside all about? Like, does it tell me anything?
Are you? It looks really nice. It's like it's been recently, washed and smells really new inside. Are you? I mean, that's on first glance, that's what it looks like.
There's nothing to indicate anything official, like anything to indicate. Is there a mandala inside there somewhere? Anything to indicate anything?
I mean, if you you'd open up the glove compartment.
Yeah, I'm doing a whole search.
Okay. So in the glove compartment, you would find, the papers and stuff like that. You can't read any of it.
Yeah.
But, there are papers in there. And
but I would be able to say if is there an agent badge or, we don't have agent badges, but is there, I may not be able to read it, but I might, if I'm in a foreign country, I might be able to recognize certain types of documents.
I would say that you find, in addition to the normal documents, what looks like maybe it was the registration and insurance card and stuff like that. You do find an envelope in there, and the envelope does contain some photographs. It doesn't have the mandala, but it does seem to have like some logo that is appearing on a number of the documents.
Okay. I'm going to put everything back in the glove compartment. I'll sweep out the glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'll close the door, and I'll leave.
Okay. When you're kind of leaving, you do hear the fire alarm in the restaurant going off. It's a digital alarm with a high pitched beep, and it has like the little strobing, it has some of the exterior places that have the kind of strobing thing that are going off. And you see, the patrons in there. It wasn't super busy in there, but there were some people like late afternoon lunch people who start kind of coming out of that building. You do not at this point see the guy who is following you.
Yeah, so I'm going to just head back to the car.
Okay.
And I'm keeping my eye out on the restaurant. I'm keeping my eye out for anything else. I'm at alert right now.
Okay.
Waiting for Paige.
Okay. Now, Paige, did you want to plant the rest of your bugs?
Yeah, so I think at some point I'm going to disentangle myself from the bank, probably a vice president, because let's face it, all the bank employees are vice presidents. Yeah, so I'll like disentangle him. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to go. My husband's on the other side of town. Apparently, I forgot his wallet and his keys out. You know how men are. I'm sort of like disentangling myself from him, and I'll go ahead and basically just do the same thing that that Chandler did.
Okay.
Sort of the same route.
Right. And the rear of the bank looks exactly pretty much the same, right? You've got, the drive-through area and that whole setup.
And I'm debating whether or not to just keep one of them, to maybe ignore the one in the back. I think I am, because I'm a fucking delinquent. I'm not going to play the one in the back.
Okay.
Because it's not important.
Okay.
And then I'll get back over to Chandler.
Okay. And so you hear, when you get outside, you hear the alarm going off. You hear some sirens now coming down the street. Sounds like a fire truck is on the way.
Oh, bloody hell. And I think I sort of start picking at the pace. Which probably is like I stop and I like wipe the sweat off my brow because I'm at like 150 beats per minute. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I run off to find Chandler.
Okay. And Chandler, you've come back across the street.
Yeah, I went back to the car.
Yeah, you go back to the car. When you get back to the car, Paige, finds her way to you. You will see that the owner, what seems to be the owner of that vehicle, has kind of finally come back out and is looking at the glass, and you see him looking up at you and noticing, you at the car. And you see him taking out what looks like a cell phone and kind of calling up on the cell phone and making a call.
All right. Yeah, I think I say loud enough that he can hear it. God damn it, Chandler. And I go over to him and I say, what the bloody hell are you doing? Broke into the man's car.
He ran away. I wanted to figure out who he was. And do you know what this is? And I show him one of the papers.
All right. I like grab it. I sort of look at it. Do I recognize it at all?
No, you don't recognize that paper. So, Chandler, you kept some of the papers, correct?
Just one of them that had
Okay.
the logo.
That logo. Okay. Yeah, you don't recognize this.
All right. I sort of look at it and I say, no, it's just a bunch of fucking squiggles, not the corporate symbol, but he just broke into his car because he ran away.
Yeah, it was easy.
Well, that's help for you yet, but now's not the time for that.
Okay. Let's head off to the next bank. Did you do all the bugs?
Of course.
All right. Let's head off to the next bank.
Okay. So you'll be able to make your way to the next bank. You don't notice that truck pursuing you anymore.
I'm looking out for anybody. It's like I'm going a circuitous
route. Okay.
Yeah, and seeing if anybody's following us.
Okay. Let me get you to roll instinct on this. I'm going to go on and give you a bonus on that because you're really on the alert for this now.
Does his navigation apply here? It might not.
I mean that the navigation, I think that map that Control gave you was pretty clear. I think, and it's pretty grid layout. So I think, his sense of direction will probably get him, having been shown the map is going to get him there.
So, I'm more thinking for him, like making out a better route, like a better circuitous route, just to like really make sure that somebody's not following us. Maybe.
Yeah. Are you trying to make sure nobody's following you, or are you trying to do this in order to be able to determine if, in fact, you are being followed?
To see if we're being followed.
Okay. Yeah. So go on and roll the instinct. Okay. With an extra dice thrown in.
Okay. I didn't roll that. So I'm going to roll it now. Yeah. 12, 14,
Okay, so
19.
yeah, you're able to kind of notice that there is a it's not the same car, but there's a kind of dark blue sedan with like tinted windows that is lingering back, but you're able to definitely pick up that you're being tailed.
Okay. We don't have any money right now, do we?
We do not now.
Okay. I'm gonna try to lose it.
Okay. I think to lose it, so and you're going to try to lose this by speed, also by looking for opportunities to duck down alleys and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get you for that. That seems like it would be, and this definitely would employ navigation now.
Okay.
And so let's go with instinct plus the navigation
Would
to
it be
see whether
instinct
you're
or
successful.
force? I guess it doesn't matter for him, but
So I'm rolling 6 dice.
Yeah, whatever the instinct plus the navigation. Are you in your target heart rate now?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, keep track. If you roll any sixes, those always get you the combinations.
Yeah, I am.
so it would be 4 dice total, right? Because the navigation gives you +1.
Wait, what?
We have the last review.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, what? I thought I was rolling, but I can roll whatever I want, right?
Correct. When you're in your target heart rate, yeah, you get to just kind of
So
decide what you want.
I rolled 6 dice, so I didn't mean to, but I'll keep it because I got a 6 out of it anyways. So and I succeeded.
Okay. So you're able, after a few blocks, to kind of, work your way, and also, there's traffic out, so timing things with stoplights and things like that. You're able to kind of get out of this situation or kind of throw him off. When you do that, I would also say, are you driving towards the last bank?
Ultimately, yeah.
Okay. So, you throw him off, and if you want to kind of make your way towards the next bank, that would be fine. You see the next bank, you're getting close to it. At this point, also control is buzzing you. Both of you feel or hear the chirping of your devices.
Oh, lovely.
I'll stop at a bank. I mean, at a gas station before we get to the bank.
Okay. So you're able to find one. You're going to pull in, with the gas pump and put that in, and control comes on and says, Agent Chandler,
Yeah.
Agent Page, how is it going?
Fine.
Have you caught on to any activity? Any hostile activity or any activity that is causing you any concern?
Nothing hostile. The guy ran away, but there was someone following us. And I show him the image, the letter.
Have you completed your mission yet?
We got 1 bank left.
Do you think you can complete your mission?
Easily, yes.
What I would have to say is if you can complete it and get out of there. If you pick up somebody on your tail, this should be considered dangerous and potentially hostile. You are not to engage in any hostiles at this point. But we can talk some more about what the meaning of that symbol is on that document. But I do feel like your cover has been blown and has been compromised at this point. And I don't know that you have all that much time to complete this mission.
Well, we did lose the last one, the last person that are following us.
Okay. What I would have to say is that I would say that these people are interested in these banks that you are bugging. Okay. So be on the alert, be aware that there may be additional people on your tail that you are not aware of.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
Gun.
You need what?
Can we have a gun, please?
Do you want to roll access for that?
Sure, why not? So I've got 3 access. I'll go ahead and roll 3d6, and I'm above my heart rate, my target rate, so 8. It's not worth re-rolling. So I will just take the fail.
Okay. You know what Control would say is, well, we could maybe get you a gun, but I don't think you necessarily have the time for that.
All right. Had to ask.
Okay. At this point, it is 10 o'clock and we could stop now. I think we could wrap this up in another 15 minutes if you wanted to go over a little bit. So what are your thoughts?
I'm good. Yeah, if we wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
7 o'clock here, so we're good.
Okay. So anything else you want to say to Control?
No, that's it.
I think I'll probably actually I'll sort of walk up holding one of the bugs, and I'll say, so do these just do audio, or do they do video as well? Can't quite tell from the manufacturing.
Well, they are sophisticated, I would say. And they are able to monitor activity. They are able to pick up audio quite well. So, and we're already picking up some pretty good information from the other banks. Some of that we're establishing contact with some of those bugs, and it's looking pretty good so far. Although it looks like you put those bugs, like 2 of them were placed on the little kind of entry buzzers. They're working right now, but I don't know how long those are going to be there. They seem pretty conspicuous to me. So maybe with this, you said you have one more bank. Maybe with the last one, we could do a little better job of making it inconspicuous, the one by the front entrance.
Yeah, I just look over at Chandler and I say, sounds like an excellent idea.
It sounds like you guys are boring, but okay. Yeah.
Ed Control says, sometimes it's not bad to be boring. Sometimes being inconspicuous, being boring, that could be a good thing.
I audibly roll my eyes.
Okay. Control says, I don't think there's really much more time to waste. If you can get over to that last bank, let's try to get that accomplished. If it gets too hot for you, then you know how to get out of that situation. You might want to kind of just keep your eye out for transformer boxes. Control out.
Well,
So okay, so we have to go to a transformer. Have we seen any on our route? I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's like a normal city. I mean you would for the transformer boxes, if you're keeping your you most people don't pick these up, but if you're keeping your eye out as you're driving through the city, it has like a power grid, and you'll see occasionally transformer boxes that would be there.
all right. So we head to again. I do a circuitous route to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Are we being followed?
You're not being followed, but when you are approaching this bank, again, it's another strip mall. You have next to the bank, you have like a little, what looks like a used bookstore. And then there's like a little consignment store selling, clothing. Looks like used kind of nice clothing next to it. You do see the bookstore has on the outside, it's a nice day, so it has bookshelves outside where they kind of put books, and you do see somebody kind of looking over the books. He's wearing a black t-shirt, and he's wearing black jeans.
Is that the same way that the other person was dressed?
Yes. It doesn't look like the same person. This person doesn't have black hair. He looks like he's a little bit older, and he's bald, but he's kind of perusing the books. His back is to you, right? When you're kind of like the first time you see him, as you're kind of driving down, his back is to you, and he seems to be kind of looking at that book.
Okay. I am going to let's head to the bank and see if he follows us.
Well, he's next to the bank. I mean, this bookstore, as you're kind of starting to approach the bank, as it kind of comes into view, yeah, you see that, okay, it's in the strip mall. It has that used bookstore, and there's like, so that basically standing next to the bank is this guy perusing a book.
Is there a black truck around here?
You do not see a black truck.
Okay.
You also don't see the blue sedan either.
There was. What's up?
The one that we lost?
Yeah, the one that you lost. You don't see that car.
Different car was following us. Okay. So I guess I would like stand out of the car and just go, well, maybe I can make this one run too. You can go in and do whatever. Don't put it on the button again this time, though. Put it on the vent above. It's much better. You should have listened to me the first time.
Yeah, so Chandler, when you see this, like I mean, what are you going to do with the car? I mean, are you going to pull into the parking lot for the bank? Are you going to continue past the bank? Where would you want to be taking your car?
I'm going to go to the drive-through, through the drive-through, and park it behind the bank.
Okay. So you can kind of get back there. I'd say in the back alley there are a few little parking spaces, and you'd be able to find a couple free places back there if you wanted to park in the back there.
Okay. Does anybody with a black t-shirt come back here?
Not right now.
Okay. I'm going to put a bug. Again, I'm gonna do like the shoe thing, and put a bug, like find like a spot for the bug near the back.
Okay.
And then walk around the side. So we're walking through the drive-through. Is there any black t-shirted people within sight of us?
No.
Also, is the lady the same?
You're going inside the bank?
Well, she saw us through the drive-through.
Yeah, yeah. She would have kind of been there and waved, and it would be the same. What looks like the same woman.
All right.
Um,
I should have wave at her, smile.
so I'm gonna sit down lean my back up against the wall, and retie my shoes. And as I get up, I'm gonna put the next bug in another spot.
Okay, so is this at the front of the bank now?
No, we're at the drive-through. We're walking
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to. I mean, in the back here, I would say, with the way that those drive-through places and you have those columns, and there are definitely places where underneath something you could easily get a bug. So that's fairly easily taken care of by you.
Okay. And then we go to the front, and is the person there? What's the person doing?
The black t-shirt guy,
Yeah.
you don't see him.
Okay. Is there a car missing from the parking lot?
No, you're not able to see that there's a car missing from the parking lot that you.
Okay. We're gonna go in. So the door. What do the doors look like?
At the bank?
Yeah.
It looks like the same setup of all the other banks. I mean, it's like
so
double glass doors that open into a little small atrium area where you have to then push the button.
And then there's a bar that goes across the middle of the door, and that's the handle.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put a thing right inside there. I'm gonna grab it and put the thing in there.
Okay.
I'm going to I'm going to reach back and grab Paige by the hand, palming a bug in her, and I'm like, you did such a great job talking to the lady last time. Why don't you do it again?
All right. So I go up, and I think this time I say, I'd like to withdraw some money, please.
Okay.
That's all right.
Now, before that, what I would say is that when you get ready to buzz that door, you see.
I forgot we had to buzz it.
Yeah. So when you're getting ready to do it and you're looking inside, you see kind of off to the side where the coffee maker is. You see the guy in the black t-shirt there.
And what's he doing?
He's getting himself a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Right now, his back is to you. You don't know. It doesn't look like he's noticed you yet.
Should we do it?
Oh, fuck it. Why not?
Let's do it.
BRB.
Okay, so tell me what you're going to do. You had not yet buzzed the door, so you can describe, Chandler or Paige, what you're wanting to do here at this point.
I'll just kind of exhausted and exasperated, just press the button and just walk through. I don't care.
Okay, so and Chandler, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go straight back to where the coffee is and get myself some coffee.
Okay, so when you walk through the guy with the black t-shirt, he's a guy around 50 years old. He looks pretty fit and kind of lean, bald guy. He turns around and looks at you, and he's gonna wait there. And so if you approach him, is that what you're doing? You're gonna go and walk up to him?
I'm going to get coffee. I'm not paying attention to him.
Okay.
I'll smile at him, but I'm going to go get coffee.
And he's going to say hello. It really doesn't seem like you belong here.
What do you mean by that? I've never heard that before.
Well, I don't know that you seem like you're an actual customer.
So I lean on the coffee table and I roll my eyes up into my head as I'm contemplating what he says, and I'm sticking a bug underneath the coffee table. And I'm like, I'm not a customer here, but I don't think that that's what you mean.
I also think that maybe you're a little bit out of your element.
I would be, look, I'm often out of my element. I'm not denying that. What is it that you're trying to say to me? What are you trying to tell me? I mean, if you're trying to warn me off, I'm a little dense. Be
Okay.
more direct, and I trust that you have my best interest.
Okay. Paige, while this conversation is going on, what are you going to do?
Yeah, so I walk up to the counter and say, I'd like to make a withdrawal, please. I don't think anything weird's going on. I'm mostly bored. So I basically go up to do a withdrawal this time and do the same thing to put the other marker on near the counter.
Okay. You're going to be effective in doing that. And at this point, the front door buzzes, and you hear the click to unlock it, and you see another guy with a black t-shirt and black jeans standing there. It doesn't look like either one of the other two, although he's dressed very similar. This guy is younger. He's like in his mid-30s. Looks pretty athletic, and he kind of walks in and just stands at the front door and is watching you.
Us.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just sort of look around, and so I turn around and I see him and just go, huh. And then I look back over at Chandler, and he seems to be talking to this other individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. I guess I'll just walk up to him and just be like, do you need something? Can I visit the bank? I hear they have very excellent overdraft policies.
He says, so you've asked him if he needs something.
Yeah.
He says, I think I need you and your friend to leave right now. And I need you to get into my car.
No, really. Going straight to that now. Are you going to buy me dinner first?
And he says, this could get pretty messy in here, and we don't really want to make it messy.
I just sort of turn back to Chandler. And I say, oh, sweetheart. Nice man would like to give us a ride.
And you also at this point hear the chirping of your cell phones telling you that Control wants to get in touch with you.
So I'm sure there's a transistor box on the corner of outside, right?
Yeah, I would say within a block you would be able to find one of those transformer boxes.
And what are we supposed to do in order to?
What Control told you would be to open it up
Uh-huh.
like that there would be a panel that you would find somewhere, some way of opening something, and that you would then be, there would be a button with that kind of mandala looking thing that you would need to kind of push.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
You also hear the cashier saying, the teller saying, "Excuse me, is something wrong out there?"
I turn around and say, "Everything's just fine. It's an old friend, just looking to catch up."
Okay, well, if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know. She does look like she's a little puzzled as to like what exactly is going on with this situation.
Yeah. So, General, if you would like to do something specific, I'm more than willing to follow that lead. But if not, I'm just gonna like grab this guy, like basically like wrap my arm around this guy's arm and just have him lead me to the car.
Yeah. So I'll just follow on behind. When we get outside, I'm gonna grab you by the collar and we're gonna run for the transformer.
Okay. And what I would say is that, you know, as you're walking outside, you can see a black SUV out there, large SUV with another guy in black shirt, black t-shirt and black jeans kind of standing there.
Not somebody that we recognize.
No, this is I mean the outfit is the same as that you recognize, but not doesn't seem like anybody. I would also say that on the other side of the street, you do see a young lady with brown hair, and she has those strange hexagonal looking glasses on. And she does seem to be kind of looking, she's not in the same parking lot. She's on the other side of the street, but she does seem to be looking at what's going on.
Okay. So as soon as we get out there, I'm going to grab Paige by the collar.
Okay.
And run towards the girl.
Run towards the girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will let you do that. This is going to be a force roll. This is like a physical activity then. Yeah. And you're trying to get away from these people.
Yeah. So are they going to follow it? Like when we run towards the, I'm going to roll right now, but are they going to follow us? Like as we look like we're about to engage the girl, are they following us?
Yeah, they're gonna be running after you.
Okay.
What happened?
Well, yeah, I've got 2 on that, so it's like a 9% chance of success.
I got an 11. So.
Are you in your target heart rate right now?
Oh no, I'm above it.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm real messed up. I guess let's fucking do it. Let's get that 11. All right, there's a 7. That's not enough.
Are you at your maximum yet?
No, my maximum's 186. I'm at 165.
Uh-huh.
I guess I'll just roll again.
Okay, so can I, like Paige is clearly struggling. Can I pick Paige up and run?
Yeah, you could try to pick her up and go with her using your this would be using force.
Yeah. So I succeeded with my last force roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making another one, so yeah.
All right, carry me along.
I did it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm already at 8 commendations. So you get them a lot quicker than I thought.
So you're able to pick her up and take her across the street. And so you're approaching this girl, and so what are you going to do? I mean, she's going to just be standing there right now.
I was hoping that running towards her would make them not follow us.
Okay.
But if if they're still following us, I'm gonna go straight. I'm gonna go for a transformer box.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you'd kind of look around and you will see, like, a block away, you can see one of those transformer boxes. I would say that, and you're going to run off towards that transformer box.
Yeah.
Okay. What you will see is that these guys kind of run across the street, and you do see that girl is saying something to them. Okay, so she has started to converse with them, and she's pretty animated. Okay, as you run off, you don't really understand what it is she's saying, but they pause and they're looking at you, and they're looking back at her. They seem a little puzzled, trying to figure out what it is that they should do. And it's certainly going to be, with your force rolls, I mean, you're going to be able to get down there to that transformer.
So was she looking at us or at them?
She's mainly engaged with them now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I'm going for the transformer box right now.
Yeah. So with her kind of whatever this intervention is, and you're kind of running away, so you're not able to kind of pick up exactly what the conversation is. That I would say that the guys in the black t-shirts and black jeans, they seem a little bit confused, and they also seem to be agitated for some reason as well. Okay, as they're talking to her, and you're able to kind of make your way to the transformer box. So when you get there, what do you do?
I open it up,
Okay.
and I shove Paige's hand onto the button.
Before you
Okay.
do that, I'm gonna slap the last thing, like right next to the transformer box. The last,
Monitor.
yeah,
Okay.
last bug.
So you have the bug on the monitor, on the transformer box right now. You're able to kind of push that. I guess the last thing you would see is you would see the girl and the three guys in the black t-shirts kind of looking at you. They're not really approaching you. They were still just kind of standing there in whatever argument or whatever they were having. But that's the last thing you see. And then the next thing you know, you're waking up on the slab. And kind of the monitors are there. They all look kind of concerned, but they're kind of, looking at your BPMs and how things are going. And they're clearly also excited, right? That you see smiles when they kind of see that you're okay. They're smiling, saying, oh, thank goodness that this turned out okay. And, Control is there, and he says, I'm glad you guys made it through. This was a little bit more hairy than what we really had in mind, and we'll have a debriefing as soon as you kind of are able to kind of pull yourself together and get yourself kind of rested a little bit.
Whiskey first, please.
What did you say? With whiskey?
Whiskey first, please. And I reach out my hand a couple of times in the air.
Yeah, and I think with that, I think we'll call the session to a close, and we'll have we'll have what Control tells you about what they know in terms of who these people are. Control clearly has seems to have some idea of what these characters are all about. So he'll kind of give that to you the next session.
All right.
Why don't we do just a very quick little debriefing? And Adam, are you gonna be here next week, or is this a kind of one shot for you?
Probably. I'll be here next week.
Okay.
Folks are-
All right,
I mean,
so
it's to get weird, so I need to stick around for the weird stuff.
So why don't we just go around one time, and if you want to just say, what you thought of the game, of the mechanics, the setup of it, and if there's anything you'd like to kind of move to next week, let me know that, and I'll take a note of it. So Alejandro, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, it was really interesting. It started out slow, and it built nicely. It was interesting. It was figuring out like what we were doing and how we were interacting with the world was interesting, So yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
Okay. Anything next week that you would want me to do, or things that you would want to explore in terms of the game or the world, or
I would like it to get weird, but I don't want to force that. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to, because we have 4 sessions, right?
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you have something in mind already, that's fine. But if you don't, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it doesn't have to happen yet, but just I would like it to get David Lynch-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Adam, how about you? What did you think about the game? Anything that you would like to have us push towards?
Yeah. So I mean, the mechanical stuff here is really interesting, right? Because on the one hand, like having a high skill is very, very valuable, because even just having like a 4 makes it much more likely that you're going to succeed, and having a 2 makes it much more likely that you're going to fail. But because of the heartbeat mechanic, in some ways it almost punishes having high stats, because you basically cap out of your ability to do things faster. So it's sort of like an interesting trade-off, because normally like min-maxing is a pretty significant thing, right? You just sort of like just be really, really good at one thing, and then have the whole party be really, really good at something, and then everybody else is just like a hammer that destroys 1/4 of the problems in the game. But here it's kind of like you can be that way, but every single time you make any roll, any consequence, you're gonna
it's a new concept.
death, essentially. So from the design standpoint, it's pretty cool. From like the campaign standpoint, I definitely wanted to get weird and crazy and insane. I think like the first session takes a while for people to like build chemistry and whatnot. It's hard to avoid it being a little bit slow, but I think it's definitely going interesting places. Because I'm a GM at heart, I sit there. I just want to add things to the world. So that may or may not be an acceptable thing to do. Like I was considering in the session, just basically trying to like turn to the people and pretending that I was one of them. It made me seem like that was going to be too much. And just like murder Chandler. But yeah, I think it's certainly, I definitely want it to be weird though.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Really quick, Adam, what type of gaming do you normally do? Like, what's your standard?
Yeah, mostly I've been playing a lot of Stars of That Number. I play I call it an interventionist style of GMing, where I like very aggressively frame scenes and like really push hard to like make interesting characters, and I'm very, very active because my brain's just on fire all the time with things. So yeah, I'm just like having like 12 plot lines going at once. It's a lot.
Yeah, well, and I think from my point of view, I think I mean I'm obviously still kind of, we're all getting used to this new game, but I like the way the mechanics are operating. I do feel like it's a rather cruel game, because there's such limited ways of lowering your beats per minute. So it really is like, okay, I mean, it's really built for, you've got to figure out what the pacing of the session is going to be, so that you kind of have people kind of engaging in when they're in their target heart rate, when they really need to do stuff and they're able to kind of get it accomplished. But once you're out of that target heart rate, right, you're kind of your resources are
Limited.
and diminished. Yeah, and I would say that maybe
that last picking up page and running to the box was a risk, because I'm at 177 and I'm 10 points away. Like, I would have had to have rolled again, because I wasn't going to let page.
Oh, completely screwed. Let's be real. I would have died. But yeah, it's cool because it sort of prevents one of the big problem, like one of the D&D problems. Just like, I enter the room, I make an investigation check, I take 5 step forward, I make an investigation check, and just people throwing rolls out.
Right.
Prevents that. So it makes it so that the rolls aren't trivial. They always matter. They're always really important.
Right, because you've always got that increasing heart rate to kind of keep track of.
It makes you really think about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And so meditating works in game.
Yes.
How does meditation work? I mean, not in game, within the dream. I meant. How does meditation work?
So the meditation. Find it. The agent may spend a commendation point to subtract 1d6 from the heart rate.
Oh my God, that's another lame rule. Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably only good if you are right above your target heart rate, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're about to die.
Yeah.
Well, if you're about to die, you don't. I mean, how do you meditate when you're about to die? Hang on, guys. Let me sit here for a minute. I just need a few minutes.
Just press the meditate button.
Right.
Yeah.
It works, right?
Yeah. Well, and I guess the other thing to kind of keep in mind is that if you use your access to get something that helps you, that will give you like dice to roll that don't get added to your heart rate.
True.
So, like if you got into a situation where, you had whatever, be guns or whatever, that, potentially you kind of get something that would have that, give you this advantage without taking up that heart rate quite at the same clip that it would normally go up.
It does still take the heart rate because you still have to roll the access, right? So it's more like saving up. Like you spend heart rate now to have better.
Right. To have something that later on would kind of give you the dice without having to.
Or like exchanging them too.
Yeah. Okay. But
if it's cool, I want to readjust my attributes, because I give them all 3, and I don't see like having 3s are hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to succeed with the 3. So I think that I would just like to adjust them a little bit. Like
okay,
yeah.
Do the 4-3-2 array.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going for a jack of all trades character is a pretty safe bet if you don't know the system.
Right. All right. I did. I went 4-2-3.
Okay. Yeah, and then you'll be out. How many commendation points did you all wind up with?
I have 8.
I ended up with 3. I think I missed several though.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't tracking it too carefully.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if, I guess the other thing, next time, do you want to just keep it with that, or I would also be willing to say, okay, we'll let you essentially level up and just take the commendation points down to 0 again.
Sure. I never have an issue with that.
Correct. And then, what the leveling up means is that you get a bonus talent at the end of the mission. Okay.
Which one is the talent?
Is it the one with the trees? Is that what it is?
Right. Right. Like the talents are the things like aggression, athletics, strategy, intelligence, navigation, logistics, intuition, communication, investigation. Those
under attributes.
The one with the attributes. All right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're the ones that go with attributes. So we'll just take the commendation points down to 0 for the next session and for the next mission, and then you can add a talent.
Sure.
Okay.
I just did it. I gave myself aggression because I feel like I kind of came off as aggressive.
And we also will along with that we'll give you blue security clearance, which will also mean that you can engage in hostile personalities, and it also gives you what is called the Lacuna device, which you can attempt to attach to a hostile personality, and basically that would neutralize them.
Yeah.
Just so you know, on the commendation points, there's no 0. The lowest number is 1.
Okay.
And if you erase it to 0, the drop down. Oh no, the drop down menu stays. Never mind. You can just type in 0. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So but I think that'll be fun. So you get another talent, and we'll also kind of introduce then next time the possibility of missions involving hostile personalities, which you can try to take out with the device.
Definitely into that. I gave myself as my talent.
Okay.
Seems useful.
Yeah. Okay, but I had a lot of fun tonight, and Adam, I really appreciate you coming on board with us. I hope you had a good time.
I did.
Okay, and we'll plan on continuing on with some new missions next week.
All right. Same time, same slot?
Same time, same slot, same channel.
4
Alejandro.
o'clock. It was 4 o'clock Pacific time, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I had it written down as 5 o'clock, so apologize.
I'm guessing.
All right. Thank you.
I'm guessing I should RSVP again. Right.
Yeah. Go on and add your name to the RSVP because there will be other slots available. So we may have we have the potential of 1 or 2 more players joining in the party next time.
All right. I will go do that.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all. It was
Okay.
a blast.
Thank you. Have a good evening, and I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Oh, and